a servant owing his king 10,000 talents. The next question is, how did he come by that money and what did you do with it? Obviously, one of the apparent answers that he borrowed the money, Abi, from the king. The next question, what did you do with it? That when the master called him, the king called him to give an account. He couldn't account for anything. He couldn't point and say, oh, I built this industry with the money. It's in operation. Oh, I established this school. Oh, I did it. He couldn't point to anything, nothing. What did he do with the money? Nothing. He wasted the money. So my dear brothers, my dear sisters, I want to introduce to you Mr. Wazobia, Nigeria. His name is Wazobia. His surname is Nigeria. He is the first idiot who is a servant but has the appetite and the ego and the cravings of king. He's the first idiot who borrowed money as a servant and was living like a king. Obviously, he spent those money on frivolities. He's the first idiot servant who had the ego and the appetite of a king. He ate like kings. He did marriage, wedding ceremonies and anniversaries like king. Did burial ceremonies like king. Bought clothes that only kings could buy. Bought cars, maybe parties that only kings could do. He wasted the money on nothing. There are things you don't borrow money to do. There are things you don't. So his problem is that he was a servant or a slave. He was also wicked. And he was also an idiot. When you have a servant who is wicked and an idiot, that's a disaster. And when you borrow money for things like that, you are a servant but you have the appetite. You want to exhibit the lifestyle of kings. You can't fund. You have to borrow to fund it. You are an idiot. You are a well-defined, I don't know whether you were created an idiot or you learned idiocy somewhere. There are things you don't borrow money to do. You don't borrow money for rent. If the rent is too expensive or if the house is too expensive for you and you don't have friends and family members that can make up for you, don't borrow to rent. If the money expires in 1 year, who is going to renew it? If you don't have a salary or a job that can pay for a rent of 1.5 million naira, and you don't have friends and families to support you to do that, don't do it. It's either you change location or you change the house. Don't borrow to rent. You want to live in Wuse 2 or Maitama, or you want to live in a duplex with borrowed money. It makes you a slave with the appetite of a king, which is equal to an idiot. It is not an investment, it is enslavement. Don't do it. Don't borrow money for wedding or even to marry. Don't borrow money to marry. If the bride price is too expensive for you, if the girl's bride price is too expensive for you, that you have to borrow money to make it up, don't do it. Leave that girl. If there is any girl whose bride price is too expensive for you, that you may have to borrow money, leave her. She's not a wife material. She's an expensive commodity. What you need is wife, not an expensive commodity. If she's from a place where bride price is that expensive and high, leave it. Go to other places. If you don't know where to go to, there's a place called Eziachi in Orlu local government, or Ezinifite in Aguata, Anambra State, Orlu in Imo State, Aguata, Anambra State. Come there. Their girls are not expensive. They are not cheap. A wife material is not cheap, but she is not expensive. Come. Their girls are God's gifts. To watch full videos and get notifications for new ones, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. God bless you.
Sign up with the largest community of Catholics online. Meet new friends, chat, post pictures and videos, make and receive audios and video calls, interact with lots of priests and religions. Download the app from Google Play Store.